Frequency Podcast Network. Stories that matter, podcasts that resonate.
The Prime Minister will travel to Tumbler Ridge, BC today, 3 days after 9 people died in a mass shooting. Hi, I'm Virjesh Dave. This is Big Headlines, everything you need to know to be in the know in just 5 minutes. Prime Minister Mark Carney is traveling to Tumbler Ridge, BC today at the invitation of the town's mayor to attend a vigil tonight. Carney has also extended the invitation to the other party leaders, and all of them have indicated they'll join him. We're hearing from the mother of one of the students killed in Tuesday's shooting. Sarah Lampert says her 12-year-old daughter, Takaria, whose nickname was Tiki, always brought sunshine.
I called her my tiki torch. She's always been a blazing light in the darkness. And if you didn't manage to see her, you would definitely hear her. She was a tiki torch powered by love.
The shootings left 4 12-year-old students, a 13-year-old, and a 39-year-old teaching assistant dead, along with the shooter's mother and 11-year-old stepbrother. In a statement, the 18-year-old's father writes, "As the biological father of the individual responsible, I carry a sorrow that's difficult to put into words." Canadians who receive the GST benefit will get a top-up payment this spring. Parliament fast-tracked the Canada Groceries and Essentials benefit, which will provide a one-time top-up payment worth 50% of the credit. The value of the regular benefit will also increase by 25% for 5 years. That starts in July. The GST benefits typically paid to Canadians with low and modest incomes. Conservatives have called the top-up payment a Band-Aid solution to address affordability, but the party did support the bill. Canada is not on track to meet any of its climate targets, according to a new study from the Canadian Climate Institute. The report suggests Canada has moved away from its current climate goals and will not hit the 2026 interim emissions reduction target, the 2030 Paris Agreement commitment, or even the long-term goal of reaching net zero emissions by 2050. The paper lays the blame at a, quote, slackening of policy effort over the past year, marked by the removal or weakening of climate policies across the country. Also making big headlines, 7 is a lucky number for most, and that's just how many medals Canada has heading into Day 7 in Milano Cortina. The men's figure skating final is happening today, and 5 could be the lucky number for a U.S. superstar.
A lot of people say that figure skating is a sport, but it's also an art.
Ilya Malinin, also known as the Quad God, has been teasing a possible quintuple jump never seen in competition before. Toronto's Stephen Gogolev is in 10th place heading into this. Hockey Game 2 also goes today for the Canadian men as they take on Switzerland this afternoon after shutting out Czechia yesterday. The women will play a quarterfinal game against Germany Saturday morning. A 4-person NASA SpaceX crew is on its way to the International Space Station.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition, and liftoff. Go Falcon, go Dragon, and Godspeed Crew 12.
The crew will replace the astronauts who returned to Earth last month, ending their mission early because of a medical issue. The new astronauts are expected to arrive at the ISS tomorrow and will be there for 8 to 9 months. If you haven't listened yet, today on the Big Story podcast, travel advisories, suspended flights, what's really happening in Cuba? Host Karen Siolan speaks to former ambassador of Canada to Cuba, Mark Entwistle.
I wonder what you make of Canada's response to the current crises.
In all honesty, this is a real old-fashioned, something my mother would have said, a conundrum for the Canadian government. It is. I mean, in many ways, they're caught between a rock and a hard place, as you've alluded to. On the one hand, I think we're at a position where it's incumbent upon, the government of Canada to manage its relationship with the United States as smartly as it possibly can, because we've got this renegotiation coming up of CUSMA. That is going to be a gong show, in any case, and who knows what will happen and what that will look like. But I think the government still needs to try to go about its business in as normal way as possible and try to get as much of a workable deal from the United States as it possibly can. And then, continue to try to manage what's going on down there.
You can listen to the full episode wherever you get your podcasts. Well, now you're in the know. Thank you for listening to Big Headlines. Make sure you follow, share, and review Big Headlines. Enrica Amaturo is our lead producer. I'm Virjesh Dave. Have an amazing weekend. We're off on Monday, but we'll be back on Tuesday. We'll talk to you then.